Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Breaking news, the Spfl Premiership has been ended by the Spfl, with Celtic 9 times winners of the Scottish Premiership, and Hearts are relegated to the Championship. So I mean, I don't know how to say this, but they had no option. They had absolutely no option. Let me just tweet out the video. Let me just tweet out the video. Oops. Let's see. There we go. So yes, the Scottish Premiership has ended with Celtic being champions and Hearts being relegated. So there we go. Basically, they basically had no choice, obviously, with the pandemic, obviously, being the full sort of the big barrier. So yeah, it's one of those things, but they didn't have any option. They did not have any option. So what this means is that Celtic have been confirmed as champions and Hearts have been relegated. Decision was taken at a board meeting on Monday after the 12 clubs agreed at the end of last week that completing the campaign was unfeasible. Average points per game played has been used to determine final placings. The only change to the table from when football was held on the 13th of March sees St Johnstone go 6th above Hibernian. So, St Johnstone finishing 6th, which I think is very, very good. Obviously, Hibs going down to 7th, which is very, very interesting indeed. Celtic were 13 points ahead of nearest challengers Rangers, having played a game more. When the season was put into abeyance, like most teams in the division, Neil Lennon's side still had 8 games to play. Hearts were 4 adrift of Hamilton Academical at the bottom of the possible 24 points available. However, the Tynecastle club do hold slim hopes of a reprieve after Chair Anne Budge was given approval to work on a proposal for temporary league reconstruction, which would involve expanding the top flight. SPFL Chief Executive Neil Doncaster said the clear and unanimous view of the club was that the games could not be played and the league can now pay out around $7 million of prize money immediately. The focus will now turn to how we get football up and running again safely as soon as possible, he said. Nobody should be under any illusion as to how complicated and difficult a challenge it will be to return to Scottish football to normality. The decision was taken by the SPFL board after a controversial April vote backed by 81% of the clubs, granted them the power to do so should they deem the 49 outstanding games unplayable. Football at all levels in Scotland is suspended until at least 10th of June, and UEFA had asked associations to either declare their season or lay out their resumption plans by the 25th of May. SPFL chairman Murdoch McLennan congratulated Celtic, commiserated with Hearts, and said the league were left with no realistic option but to call the season. So this is what the season is finished. Excuse me. So, Celtic are champions, obviously. Rangers finished 2nd, Motherwell finished 3rd, Aberdeen finished 4th, Livingston, that's the big one, Livingston finished 5th, their 2nd highest league finish in the Premiership, having finished 3rd in the 01-02 season. Then comes St Johnstone in 6th, so they've obviously moved up a place. Hibernian go down to 7th, Kilmarnock finished 8th, St Mirren finished 9th, Ross County finished 10th, Hamilton Academicals finished 11th, and Heart Midlothian relegated 12th place as they are. Good afternoon to Seamus. I'm just reacting to obviously the Premiership being ended. I hope you're doing well. So how do we reach this point? By way of several weeks of turmoil. It has been absolutely shambolic by the SPFL. So, obviously, let me bring things up to speed. So, on the 8th of April, a little over 3 weeks after football was held, the SPFL asked clubs to vote on whether the lower league season should be ended. If more than 75% of the 42 clubs backed the plan, the league would have the right to call the Premiership. The proposal passed, but only after Dundee withdrew their ballot, then voted the other way several days after the requested deadline. That meant Dundee United, Raith Rovers and Cove Rangers were declared champions of their respective divisions, with Partick Thistle and Stranraer relegated. So Dundee United are definitely going to be they're promoted. They are promoted to the Premiership. So obviously Dundee United will be there next season. Hello, Liz. Good morning. Why did it take so long to make this decision? I think they were making as much possibility as it was. I think they were given another inkling to maybe trying to finish the season, but it was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. So, and obviously they ended the leagues below as well, so there was no chance of it. Dang it, I did not get any notification at all, says Diz. Well, I'm glad you've managed to get it anyway. But yeah. That proposal passed, but I've read that. I've read that already. The league commissioned auditors Deloitte to conduct an investigation into the circumstances surrounding Dundee's belatedly decisive vote, which found no evidence of wrongdoing, but Rangers said the scope was too narrow. So obviously Rangers have been the big sort of architects in this, is that they've been wanting an investigation, and obviously that wasn't passed either. So that's one thing you could say. In the meantime, a task force was set up to look at expanding the top flight, but that collapsed after a majority of Premiership clubs indicated they would not support league construction this summer. However, Anne Budge is now the Hearts chief executive, has now been granted acceptance to basically start that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Hello to Roberto, hope you're doing well. Breaking news, Hendo to Celtic, says Diz. No. No, definitely not. And then weeks of claim and counter-claim culminated in last Tuesday's SPFL EGM, forced by Rangers, Hearts and Stranraer. All 42 clubs voted on whether an inquiry was needed into the process, with 13 supporting the proposal, 27 against and 2 abstentions. Then on Friday, the SPFL hosted a meeting of top flight clubs at which they agreed it would not be possible to finish the season, and that should it be called. So basically the Premiership season is over. What's my reaction? Well, congratulations to Celtic, 9 times winners of the Scottish Premiership, 13 points clear of Rangers. Obviously Rangers will just have to go a go next season. I actually think though, I think there might be a wee thing here to say that I think Celtic and Rangers might lose some big players. I mean, Christopher Ayer seems to be getting linked with. He seems to be getting linked with Leicester City. Morelos, he's been linked with Leicester City. He's been linked with Crystal Palace. He's been linked with Aston Villa. He's been linked with Newcastle. So there's definitely lots of transfer moves going to happen, I think, in Scotland. But yeah, look, I think obviously commiserations to Hearts, but they should never have been in this position. And the reason I say that is that they kept Craig Levein for far too long, in my opinion. They should have got rid of him by about October, and yeah, that was just it. They should have got rid of him in October. Because they've got the 4th highest budget in the league. So how the third or 4th highest budget in the league, I should say. Sorry. So how they have managed to be bottom, and they've had 4 wins in 30 league games this season. It's just not good enough. Not good enough. So that's one thing you can say. But yeah, look, all the Scottish seasons are now over. If you're asking me about Scottish Cup, I don't know. That's another thing you could say, because obviously we've still got Scottish Cup semi-finals. We've obviously got Celtic against Hamilton. Celtic against Hamilton, sorry, Celtic Aberdeen, and obviously the Edinburgh Derby as well. So that's one thing you could say as well. But yeah, I mean, look, I think it's one thing that has to be said, that I saw this coming from a mile off. As Liz said, you know, obviously, why is it taking so long? I think they were waiting until the very, very last possibility to get this done, but that is one of those things. So, yes, so the Scottish Premiership has ended. My club, Livingston, absolutely delighted with their finish this season. 5th, their 2nd highest finish in the league since 01-02 when they finished 3rd. So, fantastic from Livingston this season. And yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So, obviously, the clubs now... The clubs now will get the 7 million money that is given to them. SPFL, how bad is it affected financially? I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I think the smaller clubs would be. I think there's going to be a lot of problems at the smaller clubs. I think add to that match revenue, obviously TV money as well. it's going to be very, very hard, I think, for the bottom clubs. But I mean, I'm just over the moon with Livingston finishing fifth, because Livingston were one of the favourites to go down this season, and they were one of the favourites to go down last season, and obviously they finished ninth last season, and they finished fifth this season. So it's been a very, very good, very good season for Livingston. I'm glad for you that your club did so well. Yeah, Liz. Obviously, this season they beat Celtic for the first time ever. Obviously that was on Rebecca's birthday, so I was actually in Glasgow that day, so I actually missed that game. So that was something that I'll always regret. But earlier this season, they were very, very close to beating Celtic again as well. So they've had a very, very good season. They've made their home form definitely a lot better for sure. Is Aberdeen top four, says Diz? Yes, Aberdeen finished fourth this season. Also Europe, obviously Celtic go into the Champions League, and then obviously Rangers go into the Europa League. Motherwell and Aberdeen will also go into the Europa League as well. So obviously fourth place was obviously getting Europe this season. So instead of obviously the Scottish Cup. So that's one thing you can say. But I have to say, it's been a very good season. Very, very good season. Congrats, Livingston, says Des. Thank you. It's very, very nice to obviously be fifth. It's very, very good as well. Obviously, St Johnstone are sixth. Obviously, Tommy Wright has just left St Johnstone, so that's one thing you could say as well. But congratulations to St Johnstone as well. I think to finish sixth when they had a really, really poor start to the season. I think they had like one win in 12 games, and then obviously after that, I think they went to a run of sort of, I think it was something like 9 wins out of the last 12, which was very, very good. Do you think the smaller clubs will be allowed to get more investors and sponsors to make up the gap? Yes, I do. Especially if like league construction happens. Obviously, we've all been through what people have been saying. It's looking like that the league construction is probably the way forward again. That's one thing you could say. That is one thing you could say. But I think the smaller clubs will get a helping hand from somewhere. Obviously, the SPFL have actually asked the Scottish government to actually step in and obviously do that. But it'd be interesting. It'd be very, very interesting to see. But no, I think they had to make a decision based on basically the fact that obviously if you can continue to go into June and the season can't be finished, then that's one thing as well. But yeah, does Douglas support a team that start with the letter L? I've been a Livingston fan probably since the 90s, to be honest, when they were sort of Ferranti Thistle, Meadowbank Thistle as well. So I've probably been a Livingston fan probably more there. But added to the fact as well that I've actually been to a school in Livingston. Andrew Rogers, who is a massive Hibernian fan. Happy John Obika Day, indeed, my friend. It's obviously you'll be pleased. Well, actually, I wonder how Hibs fans are feeling that Hearts have been relegated. I think, look. It's obviously. I think there's going to be more to this. I think Hearts are going to sue the SPFL. I can definitely see that for sure. Because but the thing is, Anne Budge has been a big, massive factor to Hearts getting relegated. She kept Craig Levein for far too long, and if he hadn't been in the club since, then if he got Daniel Stendhal. Obviously now there is a clause in his contract. Daniel Stendhal could actually leave Hearts. So obviously if Hearts are relegated to the Championship, but makes it an interesting season next season. Obviously with Dundee United being back up there as well. So some big clubs, but obviously you're going to lose the Edinburgh Derby next season. Yes, I suppose you're obviously going to miss the Dundee Derby, but obviously you've got the new firm Derby, which is Dundee United, Aberdeen, Dundee United, and so on. So SPFL, but with love, says Diz. Yeah, look, I mean, it's one of those things. It is one of those things. But yeah, obviously the Scottish Premiership has ended. Obviously the Championship has ended. League One has ended. League Two has ended. So a lot of things to do. But obviously, congratulations to Celtic, congratulations to Dundee United, congratulations to Raith Rovers, and congratulations to Cove Rangers. All of them have been promoted. Commiserations to Heart of Midlothian going down to the Championship, albeit on a sort of an appeal and obviously a sue. As well, we'll see what happens. Partick Thistle will go down to League 1, Stranraer will go down to League 2, and I'm not too sure what's happening with Brecon City either. So that'll be very, very interesting to see. But yeah, obviously the Scottish Premiership ended, and yeah, we shall see what happens. But sorry, Hearts fans. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it is. Obviously, I've got a few followers of Hearts fans on here, and obviously, I think Wolf Einstein is one of the big ones as well. He's a massive Hearts fan, and I think he's looking forward to seeing the back of Anne Budge, to be honest. So that's one thing you could say. But yeah, guys, just wanted to come live, just give you my reaction. I think they came to the right decision. It feels like it's the right decision as well, but there was just no point in finishing the games, especially with the season being postponed until the 10th of June. If you go past that, then obviously but you might just ask what's going to happen to the Scottish League Cup as well, because obviously that starts in mid-July. I don't think that's going to happen this season. I think they're just going to have to scrap the Scottish League Cup. Maybe wait till the Scottish Cup as well. I don't know, but it's going to be one of those weird things. Can your government help small clubs with loan forgiveness or deferment? Good question. I think they could, but it's whether or not they want to. That's another thing you could say. Because if it doesn't happen, then I think probably a few clubs will definitely maybe go to the wall, which I don't want to happen, but that could potentially happen. Loan forgiveness. Yeah, the Scottish Government can give out loans, so that would be very, very interesting to see, but again, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. Obviously, Ross County, their first season back in the top flight, they finished 10th. St Mirren finished 9th, which is very, very interesting indeed. But yeah, it is what it is. And will we see potentially? Obviously, League Two has obviously ended as well in England. Will we see that in League One? I don't think we'll see in the Championship. I think we'll probably see something that happens along those lines, potentially of them finishing their season as well. Hello to the United family. Hope you're doing well. Obviously, in the Premier League season. Well, obviously, I think the only way the Premier League would only get ended, I think, would be if La Liga came out and said that they couldn't finish their season. Then I think the Premier League would definitely take that to effect. But no, guys. Obviously, I feel bad for the communities that surround the clubs and depend on them for revenue. Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really sad, but Livingston in the past have been very, very. They've had their financial troubles, but they're. I would say they're probably one of the most financial stable clubs at this present moment in time. And obviously, I'm involved in a fund as well with the Livingston. They've obviously set up a fund that fans can obviously get into, and obviously pay their money into. Your thoughts on the German league? I think it's been absolutely fantastic to see the German league back. Seamus, I think the games have been absolutely fantastic. Obviously, we've had loads of goals. We've had some very poor defending. We've had a few penalties. Don't think we've had a red card yet, as far as I'm aware. I don't think we've had a red card, actually. I would need to check that, but obviously few surprise results. Obviously, Mainz coming back from 2 goals down to draw with Cologne. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund winning 4-0, which was very, very good as well. Haaland's an absolute talent, but obviously people have remembered that my word of the weekend was definitely baller, and I tell you something, Julian Brandt is an absolute baller. What a player he is, and I can't believe that Dortmund got him on a very, very small transfer as well. So that is interesting to see. But yeah, look, obviously, like I've said, I just thought I'd come on here and just discuss the no, I'm not gonna say that because I don't really want to get monetized, but I don't get monetized anyway, so that's one thing. But yeah, guys, obviously I just came live just to see what people think about the Scottish Premiership. And obviously, if you do miss this video, if you do miss me live, then obviously let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll obviously reply to them. But yes, big news is the Scottish Premiership has ended with Celtic champions and Heart of Midlothian relegated to the Championship. So thank you very much for watching. If you do like my content, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, smash a like on this video. And thank you all for tuning in, and I'll be back with some more videos very, very soon. Stay safe, everyone. Bye bye for now.